Speaker sir, I joined to speak on the calling attention motion tabled by Honorable colleague Ullas Tuekar on the recent forest fires in Goa. Speaker sir, आताच आंतोन वाजान उलयतना म्हणलें ऑनरेबल मेंबर आंतोन वाजान की एक्शन जावपाक जाय म्हणून आनी हे उजे बी कोण घालता बिल्डर बी घालता आसत म्हणून हें ताणें बिल्डर मिनिस्टर हो मोबायल पळयता आतां स्पीकर सर एक्शन जावपाक एक स्टेट एक्शन प्लॅन फॉर क्लायमेट चेंज म्हणून 2019 एक एक्शन प्लॅन दिल्लो आमकां and these fires should not come as a surprise. They were actually a warning in 2019 called, and this was coming in the form of something called the State Action Plan for Climate Change. Atun speaker sir एक 46 crore expenditure आशिल्लो पूण सरकार जो इव्हेंट करपाक इतले पयशे मोडटा आज एक वर्स केलें म्हणून एक इव्हेंट केलो तुमी सगळे इव्हेंटाकूच पयशे मोडटा हे 46 कोटींचे 1 रुपया ताणी म्हणलो ना वो डॉक्युमेंट तुमचोच स्टेट एक्शन प्लॅन फॉर क्लायमेट चेंज स्पीकर सर हे आन्सर जे आयला आमी क्वेश्चन घाल्ले तातूंत एक आन्सर आयला की 587.5 हेक्टर जमनीक उजो पेटला इन द लास्ट 5 years पूण हे वर्सा that is the best joke there is no information about 22-23 and we are moving or calling attention on the fire that has happened this year and the government has no information about it. So Maka, not to first time MLA and honorable member Divya Rani actually summarized this very well. She said it felt so bad that we could do nothing when we are in power. This is the summary, Speaker sir. That they could do nothing and they are in power and they have got double engine. And because that double engine wouldn't work, on the day the fire came, I had spoken to Honorable Minister also. And I tagged the PMO and I told him that you have no disaster management in place. Disaster management is itself a disaster. So you take help from the PMO, you take help from the highest sources that you have of the double engine. Otherwise you will burn Goa. And when the Goa burns, we would ask what happened to the wildlife. Honorable Member Anton Vaz said it must have gone into the other constituencies, the wildlife. Our Benavli MLA was saying that now there is no question of demanding a tiger corridor because the tigers have gone on their own. On their own they have cleared an issue. Speaker sir, in the answer, I have been told no loss of wildlife is reported. Are? कितें जालें येदो व्हडले उजे पेटून जालें कितें कोणूच मेलो ना नो लॉस ऑफ वायल्ड लायफ सो स्पीकर सर हें आन्सर म्हाका दिसता इज जस्ट टायम पास आन्सर दिल्लें आहा सो आतां लेट अस चॅक वेदर गव्हर्मेंट नोज which forests have caught fire. Honorable member Divya Rani said that हांगा उजो लागलो असो लागलो विश्वजीत गेलो ताणें हेलिकॉप्टर हाडलें वयल्यान उदक उडयलें आतां खंयचे रानांक उजो पेटलो अदर क्वेश्चन आमी विचारलो तांकां खबरूच ना तांणी दिल्या सर्वे नंबर म्हळ्यार कितें एक कोणाचो ओडीपी बी करपाक आयिल्ले भशेन हो सर्वे नंबर तो अरे रानांचे सर्वे नंबर कोणाक पडला इट्स अ वायल्ड लायफ सँक्च्युरी स्पीकर सर government can actually determine which forest by the survey number of their GPS location and the boundaries of the forest fires. हे करून तांच्यान actually काडूं येता आशिल्लें. What data is important to understand what you call the vulnerable clusters. Dr. Shetty, when he was speaking, he was talking about vulnerable clusters. की उजो पडतो केन्ना लागूंक शकता आनी खंय लागूंक शकता. सो हें कळपा खातीर GPS लोकेशनांची सर्वे नंबर आनीक बाउंड्रीज ऑफ द फॉरेस्ट फायर हें जाणा जावप गरजेचें स्पीकर सर ऑन दॅट यू वूड कम टू नो हाव द फायर स्प्रेड्स विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू टेरेन एंड विंड डायरेक्शन एंड द बेस्ट एक्सेस टू सच फॉरेस्ट एंड देन टू इंस्टॉल इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर सच एज वॉटर टँक्स रोड्स एक्सेट्रा दॅट विल हेल्प इन फायटिंग फायर्स इन दीस एरियाज नाव what is the reply given about the location? Let us look at it. The reply is divisions. It does not give the location of the fires, but the divisions under which the fires were triggered. Now what are we supposed to do with that information? What is the house supposed to do with that information? Kunchi division I am telling. Can you prepare for the next fire by using this information? Speaker sir, what we want to do is we want to prevent the next fire. कितें जालें तें जालें, तुमी बाग मारून उडयले, रियल इस्टेटी खातीर क्लियर केलें जाल्यार केलें, पण आतां फुडलें कितें? Or is the government hiding this information because somebody triggered these fires to convert their land? This is a question. Speaker sir, I want to know which are the vulnerable forests, which are the vulnerable areas, villages, and the resources around these areas which can be used to tackle these fires. This is what is most important. And we need data about these fires of this year. You can't give us data about last year and answer of calling attention of this year. About a burning issue, Goa burnt, and you are giving data of last year. Government has something called a State Action Plan on Forest Fire. They have it, but it is existing only on paper. Under this plan, I read this plan. Under this plan, they have got how they build this action plan. The first thing is build the capacity of community organizations in preventing and control of forest fires should be enhanced by periodical training and capacity building. हे सगळं बऱ्या भशेन बरयलां, पण कांय ना. Speaker sir, moisture and water conservation. They talk about a long-term plan for improving the water regime of the forest areas. There is something called forest floor biomass management. In other words, it is minimizing the accumulation of dry fuel material on the forest floor. Something also called controlled burning. Speaker sir, there is a concept called controlled burning. Controlled burning is what? You understand that this place is going to catch fire. So go there, stand there and burn the place first. Burn the place, not that it will spread like this, but controlled burning. It is basically prioritization of areas for controlled burning as a part of what you call risk zonation analysis. This is what is the scientific term, Speaker sir. See, now there is something called weed management. Honorable member Mr. Shetty has said that inflammable weeds were ह्या वर्सा इन्फ्लेमेबल विड्स जाली. म्हाका समजना हेच वर्सा जाली न्ही, इतल्या वर्सां आमी 50 वर्सांचे जाले, 50 वर्सां जावन गेले. आमी केन्ना आयकूंक ना इन्फ्लेमेबल विड्स कशे आयले ते, की तुमचोच सरकार येवन ह्या 1 वर्सान विड्स पसून चेंज जाले. तुमकां भिल्यो काय म्हणून? अशें बी जालें काय म्हणून नवें? स्पीकर सर, डिजिटायझेशनाचे रेव्हेन्यू मिनिस्टर खूब उलयता. फॉरेस्ट बाउंड्री डिजिटायज कित्याक करनात तुमी? यू हॅव टू हॅव समथींग कॉल्ड ground-based detection. So you have to have a location of new watchtowers based on coverage, visibility, ignition sources, other relevant things. Dedicated phone line, it should be 24/7 available. Numbers must be displayed every 500 meters along the forest roads. Now this is all part of your action plan. Speaker sir, there is something called forest fire lines. Mapping and digitization of the location of existing fire lines and other infrastructure such as roads, transmission lines. हे सगळे आहा, पण फॉरेस्ट मिनिस्टराकडे पैसे आहा, तो करूंक शकता. हे question is not aimed at him, but he should think loud. Even his wife has said this, honorable member Mrs. Rane, that it feels bad that you are in power and you can't do anything because you don't have money. Speaker sir, now let us think about the post-fire management. This is the concept. आता झालो तो झालो, उजो पेटलो. पेटलो न्ही, आता पेटलो, आता फुडें कितें करता तूं नेक्स्ट? स्पीकर सर, government cannot be complacent. Fires have stopped. Now the fires have stopped. Doesn't mean complacency should come in. Speaker sir, you have to assess the loss due to the forest fires. So there is something called standardized protocols and procedures to facilitate the reporting of the area and losses due to forest fire. Now, has the government implemented the protocols and procedures? No. Report states that proper investigation of the causes for every fire incident are properly investigated and adequate measures taken immediately, including legal actions where necessary. कितें घाला तुम्ही? हे ओगी सांगला आमकां. स्पीकर सर हे हांवें आयकूंकूच ना, एक कोणाक तरी अरेस्ट केलो म्हणून आयले मदीं. दॅट्स इट, दॅट इज ओवर, सगळें जालें. आनी स्पीकर सर हाजे हें आतां उजो पेट्टा हो एक स्टेट वायड फेनॉमिनन. अशें समजून लोक उजो पेटोवंक लागले. प्रायवेट फॉरेस्ट म्हणटा तो इशू आहा, लोकांक प्रायवेट फॉरेस्ट गेल्ले जाय, उजो पेटय. आतां पेट्टात न्ही सगळे, तातूंतच क्लियर कर म्हणून. स्पीकर सर, एक प्रॉपर रिस्टोरेशन प्लॅन प्रिपेर जावपाची गरज आहा. आनी विथ द ऑब्जेक्टीव टू रिस्टोर टू द नॅचरल प्रोफायल. हाका एक सायन्स ही, this is a science of managing forest which is called silviculture. So you have to have appropriate silviculture practices taking into account the ecological successional dynamics. Because this is a science. That is why I actually want to suggest that, like Madhav, we shouldn't have to fight on this. There should be a house committee into these fires. Make a house committee. It is not your cup of tea and my cup of tea to just talk. Bring experts into this to prevent the next fire, or to have something called post-fire management, which I am talking about, Speaker Sir. Speaker Sir, adequate soil moisture conservation measures must be taken up in fire-affected areas. Indigenous vegetative barriers must be identified. Is the government going to restore these forests or convert them? Is the next question, into plots. Because it is very rampant in north of Goa, especially in the areas where the fires have caught. Illegal subdivision of plots, illegal subdivision, non-settlement plots, which are also forested areas, which are even private forests, has happened. When I was town planning minister, I had a list of them. But after that, it's all, once again, 49(6) has been removed. Everybody is free to convert their land, make them into illegal plots and sell them off. This has begun, and this will next happen with these areas which have got burnt. Speaker sir, if we see the reply, we have to, Chief Minister may not like our analysis, but this is what it is. Forget a comprehensive action plan. My first question to the Honorable Chief Minister is, how many recommendations from the existing state action plan have been implemented? State action plan तुझे आहा, तू किने केला ते पयली सांग. नवो कॉम्प्रिहेन्सिव एक्शन प्लॅन करतलो अभी ती खबरो सोड, त्यो काणयो. स्पीकर सर, issue is that the plan is only on paper. State disaster management has no plan. What is the state disaster management? It is a glorified phone directory of officers. फक्त ऑफिसर हाजे नाव, हाजे नंबर, हाजे नाव, हाजे नंबर. उजो पेटलो ताका फोन करता, तो फोन केन्ना ऑन जावचो ना. This is our disaster management action plan. See, Speaker sir, there is something called customizable water tankers. ये ठीक जंगलांनी चलचेत ना. You need a hose truck, which Madam Divya Rani was talking about. You have to extend the reach of your existing water tankers. You have to take them inside. तू उगीच हे कस्टमायजेबल वॉटर टँकर करून आनी पैसे म्हणून कांय जावचें ना तें. You have to equip your personnel with hose and fire rigs. There is something called a Bavarian sand shovel. It is required to dig these fire lines. There is something called forest fire beaters, chainsaws, backpack sprayers, hoses, carriers for equipment and supplies, lights, protection of firefighters. You have to have eyewear, aprons, boots. You need apparatus basically, Speaker sir. The whole issue is that the paper says that exhaustive training shall be carried out to equip staff with necessary sets of skills. म्हाका एकूच विचारूंक जाय, आतां मेरेन दिल्लें ट्रेनिंग कितें जालें? कोणाक दिल्लें? आतां दिवपाचें आहा म्हणून सांगतात तुमी. पूण मातशें पळया, फायर ऑफिसरूय आमचो गोंयकार आहा. गोंयकाराची कातरबाजी करप बरें दिसना. आनी चड करून सारको म्हळ्यार ताजेर पयलीं कॉंग्रेच्युलेटरी मोशनां हांगा मूव केल्लीं आहा. पूण एकूच हांव सांगूंक सोदतां की आज बाब विदेशाक एक तुमी आन्सर दिला की already measures have been taken to ensure no major forest fires. Measures are what? All field divisions of the department are equipped with required tools, machineries, as well as training in forest. हें जालें? आन्सर दिलें ताणें ताका. ऑनरेबल मेंबर विरेशाक हें आन्सर दिल्लें आहा. सो कितें हें आतां? तूं एक सायडीन सांगता एक्झॉस्टिव्ह ट्रेनिंग आमी करतले, दुसरे सायडीन ताका आन्सर दिता की ट्रेनिंग बिनिंग सगळें जालें म्हणून. सो तुम्ही वावर काडटात स्पीकर सर. ही असेंब्ली घेवंक जाय, कसो तरी वावर काडूंक जाय म्हणून वावर काडटात. म्हाका दिसता तुम्ही पयलीं म्हणटा तें आयडेंटिफाय द डेफिशियन्सीज ऑफ युअर फायर डिपार्टमेंट. आयडेंटिफाय अँड एक्सेप्ट and that you have deficiencies. There is no shame in doing that. Unless you are guilty of neglecting the department, which is why you are not ready to accept the current level of preparedness. You are not prepared. And you are not willing to accept. Speaker sir, before you have asked the Indian FSI India, you should ask your department to digitally map the forest. What is your GIS cell doing? Don't tell me you have given that to GEL also. GEL. आज सगळें GEL जाल्लें आहा. कित्याक ना जाल्यार they will charge commission for the service or information, and every time you ask for a fire, whenever there is a fire, they will say आमचे इतले कमिशन. कितें आमी ते हांकां कशें ते कितें ते वॉटर स्पोर्ट्साक कमिशन घेतात ते भशेन मागूंक लागत. मेन इश्यू स्पीकर सर असो आहा की मुख्यमंत्र्यान सांगूंक जाय, आता तो बजेट प्रेजेंट करपाचो आहा, कितले पयशे तूं एलोकेट करतलो बजेटान. आनी हांव दिव्या राणेचें सजेशन की एक हेलिकॉप्टर घेवचें म्हणटा कशेंच हांव फावरात ना. हें हेलिकॉप्टर तुमी भलतेच घेवन भोंवपाक लागतले, तें नाका, हेलिकॉप्टरा बी नाका. स्पीकर सर, अदरवायज शी स्पोक लॉट ऑफ सेन्स, बट दीस वन थिंग हांव आक्षेप घेता की ही हेलिकॉप्टरां मागीर खंयच्या खंय वापरतले, कोल्हापुराक वतले, सोलापुराक वतले, हांगाच्यान भोंवतले, ती आनी नाका. ती हेलिकॉप्टरांनी बी पडनाका. हे व्हडलो एक्शन प्लॅन आहा तोच फॉलो करा. थँक्यू स्पीकर सर.